So, the influences on the development of my story stem mainly from me, completely from me, actually. I am a retired CSI. I spent 24 years in a local police department, as well as an additional 2 years as a CSI contractor for the U.S. military in Afghanistan. So that's 26 years of my life. During that period of time, of course, I saw lots of things, made lots of notes, and somewhere, about the last 10 years of my tenure, I started to have thinking that I wanted to write a story based upon CSI stuff. There were CSI shows on, and those were fun, and I watched them and enjoyed them, but I also felt that they took a lot of shortcuts that they didn't need to take and were missing a lot of real drama. In addition to that, the core of the pilot was based upon a real incident in which I was actually asked to go to Mexico to investigate a death that had been ruled accidental. Because of my expertise, I was able to tell through photographs, like my character does, that in fact this individual did not die by accident, but died on purpose. It was a murder. But for various reasons, all security, I did not go. But that stuck in my mind this whole time. So part of the script is a catharsis. I get to finish the story, even though I never finished the story. Other parts of it were taken from real things that I saw. I kind of made a little hint at police corruption, and based upon real incidents that I've experienced, or other people that I know have experienced in other departments, and things that are just part of the whole fabric that we don't always like to look at. So that all that was what came together when I decided to write this as a pilot. I thought at one time I was going to make it the feature film and have it stand alone, and I still wanted the series, and then I saw that I could actually use this to power my character, because he goes to a foreign country, he survives the experience when he shouldn't, and the audience can argue if they want whether it was faith, God, the universe, fate, or luck. And I never answer that question. That's up to the audience to answer the question, because I trust them. So all that comes into play in terms of any beliefs I may have and others I know that I respect. All that comes into all the development of it. And I wanted to lay the groundwork for what would be a police drama in many ways, an overall look at the police culture and the negative aspects of it, and how all of this affects a family, which is the reason I injected all of those elements into this. So I'd say that most of this comes from my experience and my family's experience, and then others from people that I know, or reliable information that I have from what I consider reliable sources. In terms of directors and actors that I model, I love the storytelling of Christopher Nolan. He's a very interesting individual in that he greatly respects his audience. He greatly respects his actors. I learned that he has no cell phone and no email address. So one can do this job without being constantly connected to the internet and everybody else on the planet. That's kind of like me already. I am a dinosaur. And I think I like that. Because the other thing that he does is I learned that when he directs, not that I would do necessarily this, but it's the spirit of it, that when he directs, I learned that he wears a full business suit out of respect for the actors. I've read of people that I would never want to be like, Stanley Kubrick, for example. Loved many of his movies, but he tended to manipulate his actors to a point where I would almost consider it abuse. Now, that's his choice to make, and people loved his films. That's not a choice that I would make. In terms of writing, I actually wrote what I wanted to see. Again, an influence on me was the original Warner Brothers cartoons, the original Bugs Bunny, and I'm talking about the uncut ones, where they give you the explosions and the shots and all the stuff that's just funny, okay? My generation didn't go around, doing crazy stuff. We were smart enough as little kids to know, no, you don't really take a stick of dynamite and stick it in your little brother's ear. We knew that. The guys, I saw this interview in the 70s with the guys that wrote all that stuff, and they were asked, who is your target audience? They all said the same thing. Us. We thought this stuff was funny. We were really surprised that everybody else did too. But the real key was they weren't trying to manipulate something or manipulate writing so that a certain set of people would like it. They put it on because that's what they wanted to see. So I realized what I wrote and the character of Mike, as well as everybody else, is not going to be, as a matter of fact, in the reading, there was somebody that actually wished I'd done something else. Bless that person, I'm probably not going to satisfy that person. They need to watch something else, because nobody can please everybody else. That's absurd. But I'm going to write something that I want to see, a character that I want to emulate in real life that I wish really existed. And I believe that when I am true to that, and true to my own beliefs as they come through my writing, that there will be a significant number of people who are ready for such a person, especially the kind of writing that assumes that if you're watching this, you're smart and you can figure a lot of stuff out. I hope to see this. It's actually easier to say where I don't see it. I don't see it on network TV. I don't see it on things that are chopped up by commercials. I know that those have to exist, and they exist for a purpose and a reason, and I watch many of them. But I'm seeing this on probably a Netflix or an Amazon where they're experimenting with this sort of thing. I mean, look at the way I wrote it. The pilot is an hour and a half, an hour and 40 minutes. It used to be that your pilot had to be the length of your series, 45 minutes or so. Or you could make it a two-parter and chop it up. But these days, those rules are out the window. It's how long does it take to sell the story, to tell the story, and people are embracing that. I watched all of Sons of Anarchy, for example, and I found that no two episodes were the same length in a row, and they had some episodes, not even season finales, that were an hour and a half, or hour and 20 minutes. It was how long did it take to tell the story. I believe one of them was only like 42 minutes. That's how long it took to tell that story. So I like that because then you can have a story consistency, and I have broken a lot of different rules that are normal, such as not telling you all the answers, letting you figure some out. And I believe that the new venues of Netflix, Amazon, and others that are branching out into that, perhaps cable, are ready for such a thing. A moral character whose flaws are a little different than other flaws. Mike doesn't have a broken marriage. I'm really tired of broken marriages. And I realize that's an influence on myself. I'm in my 40th year, and we've made it through several careers, including forensic work, and we're still married, and we actually still like each other. So that's what it takes to really survive, somebody you can count on, things like that. So whoever is willing to fund that, that's who I'm going to take this to. And it's my intention to be, I'm not sure what they call it, I'm still learning this part, executive producer, showrunner, for the specific purpose of protecting the main character of Mike. There's a lot of changes I'd be willing to accept for some of the secondary characters, but the character of Mike, I'm very, very jealous of. So whoever I would sell it to, I have to come with the deal for that, because I don't trust anybody else yet. That trust could come, but they'd have to show me they truly understand what the main character of Mike is really all about and what he will and won't do. And I know this because I went through a career of things that I would and would not do, so it's real.